I think this is rabbit poop. But my question is, why would someone keep a rabbit in a drawer? This is insane. Hello beautiful people and welcome to another video. This is gonna be a fun one. Enjoy. When you think you've seen it all, I think this is rabbit poop. Does this mean that someone kept a rabbit or a guinea pig in a drawer? That's crazy. This might be vintage bunny poop, but I'm definitely not keeping it. If you do have rabbits or guinea pigs at home and this poop looks like something that you're familiar with, do let me know in the comments. The good thing is that it doesn't smell. I guess this would have been a different story if it was a cat, not a rabbit, so fortunately I didn't need to do anything about the odor. This looked like a lot of sanding, so to make it easier, I disassembled the whole thing. And that included the back piece, so I could actually sand it properly and also clean the chest drawers on the inside. I'm guessing that this is made by Stag, which is a pretty popular brand where I live, and it's a bit of a pain to disassemble this because on top of staples there's a lot of glue, so some bits of veneer usually come off when you try to take those pieces apart. And this is a pretty typical piece of furniture made mostly from pressed wood with pieces of solid sapele. About 80% of this is made from pressed wood with some pieces of plywood and only small bits of solid wood such as the base and the surrounding frame for the drawer fronts and the top. So, as you can see, someone was very creative with this green and white paint, and it's gonna take a lot of sanding to get it all off, so let's just get to it. Someone went for the shabby chic finish, so there is a lot of distressing, and I'm assuming that a lot of the veneer is damaged. Other than a few minor repairs, such as this one, there wasn't really anything wrong with this structurally. Whatever I decide to do with this, there's gonna be a lot of sanding, and a lot of it will be by hand because of the details such as the one you can see now. With this kind of furniture that's painted and it's covered in veneer, you never really know what you're getting into until you take the paint off, so I was careful because, you know, in case the veneer was actually okay and I could save it, I wanted to make sure that I didn't destroy it. Mate, you nearly gave me a heart attack. Come on. Come on. Sneaking up on me, huh? Do you want to say hello to your YouTube friends? Do you want to snack trouble? I guess Hugo and Mando could sense the incoming sanding, so they came to give me some moral support and encouragement. And after a short cut break with all the encouragement that I can get, I'm ready to do more sanding. Does this feel like a lot of sanding? Because it sure was. And here's something for some of you who are probably waiting for it.
"2,000 years later."
Hope you enjoyed this little sanding montage. Actually, not that little, it was pretty long. But like I said, there was a lot of sanding. So I found another repair that I had to make. And by the way, this little cordless blower thingy is like my new favorite thing. You can easily buy it on Amazon and it's actually pretty cheap. If I remember, I'll put a link for this one in the description. This was a pretty simple repair, just a little bit of wood glue, a clamp, and Bob's your uncle. It feels like all I've been doing so far is sanding, and as you can see there is still some green and white paint left on the drawer fronts and I need to get it off. Fortunately this is the solid wood bit and I don't need to worry as much about getting through the veneer, so I can be less gentle, I guess. When I work with something like this, I just try different methods and see what works best. This is not a flat surface, so I started by using my scraper and I swapped the scraping bit for a round one because it would conform to this shape, I guess, a bit better. After trying different things on the first drawer, I realized that 120 grit sandpaper, when used by hand, it just worked best, so that's what I did. If you're still watching, thank you, I really appreciate it. And as always, special shout out to all the channel members, you guys are the best. If anyone wants to support what I do, you can find all the links in the description. You can buy me a coffee, hit the super thanks button, or visit my Amazon wishlist link. Thank you. And obviously, you can subscribe, so the YouTube algorithm will feed you many more videos like this one, and it's completely free. Alright, I'm finally done sanding, and here's a little dilemma. This frame is made from solid wood because I've worked on a similar piece in the past. Behind this veneer there is pressed wood. I could restore it because it's in a good enough condition that I can work with it, but I think I want to do something with it. Either cover this with different veneer or maybe stain this different color, because I think this is just a bit boring and plain. So I was looking at this and it looks like it's not gonna look great if I just stain it. I got two different pieces of veneer, which I don't even know if this is enough. It isn't, and I decided to do it anyway, and the veneer that I decided to go with is called Ebony, and this is an exotic veneer, which means that I can't just simply go to a store and buy some. But because I'm fancy AF, I can't just deal with this plain look, so I wanted to do something cool. I'm using spray contact adhesive. I have used this many times before, and this is super simple. You just spray this on both surfaces, and as soon as they touch, they stick together. I get quite a lot of comments from people saying that they are worried about my knees. I don't know if you guys noticed or if you've seen my workshop makeover, but the floor here, these are gym mats. So this is very soft and squishy. This is something you can work out on. So other than the fact that my knees get dirty, there's nothing to worry about because it's very comfortable to kneel on this floor. This is one of the reasons I got it, because before, when it was concrete, my feet would really hurt after a whole day of work, and now they're perfectly fine. I'm gonna take the tape off because otherwise it will stick to the veneer and then it's a pain to remove it. And this way I'll have nice clean edges because I'm a professional. If you have seen my other videos, you probably know what I'm about to do. You just use something like this. I made this tool myself just to press this down and make sure that it adheres properly, but you can use a roller or something else. I've lined up these little drawers, so when I put this on, it will be a continuous pattern throughout all of them. At least that's the idea. And it looks like it actually worked. Now I just need to cut off all those extra bits and do a lot of sanding just to make sure that veneer blends in with the solid pieces of wood surrounding the drawer fronts, and it will take a moment. The veneer has certain thickness and I don't want any hard lines, so I'm trying to blend the veneer with the surrounding drawer front, and I'm actually tapering the edges of the veneer just to make it even more seamless. So this is what it's looking now, and I'm actually pretty happy with it. I think it looks cool. Though when the clear coat is on, this is gonna be more red because this is mahogany or sapele, and this is what the veneer will look like when it's wet. So because the darker bits will be black, I think I'm going to stain the top black and the sides black. Anyhow, I don't have enough veneer for all of it. I could only do the top and stain the sides black, which that is an option. It kind of looks cool with the veneer on top. I decided that I don't want to waste the veneer because it's expensive. I think it will make the most sense if I stain the sides and veneer the top. And also there's a huge stain that I don't even know if I can get it out. I know that when I use veneers that are not, how would I put it, common or conservative, there are very divided opinions, and some people love them and some people think they're just too much. So do let me know in the comments what you think about this one and if you've seen this before. The reason I think this veneer works very well for this chest of drawers is because this brownish color in the veneer is almost identical to the one on the chest of drawers, and I think they'll just blend perfectly. Though I guess there's only one way to find out once I put the clear coat on, but then it's too late. When you work with veneer, there are always some scratches and minor dents and stuff like that, so I did some additional sanding to make sure it was as good as it gets, dusted it off, and it was ready for the final steps. Oh, and I swapped the sliders because the old ones were really rusty. You can clearly see the pressed wood underneath this veneer, and I haven't even properly sanded this. So in other words, I can't really stain this because it's not gonna look great. I can put different veneer on it because it's just not gonna go with the stripy bits on the front, and it's gonna take a long time to get the same veneer because I bought it online. It's not something readily available. So I decided to paint the sides black. And if I like it, I'll keep it. If not, I'll get some of the stripy veneer and I'll put it on the side. But for now, I think this is the best solution, and let's see what it looks like. Unless you've seen my early videos, you probably haven't seen me paint anything in a long time, but there's place and time for everything, and I've got nothing against painting, especially when it comes to something like this. This is pressed wood with old cheap veneer. Because I used black primer, it didn't take much paint at all, and it looked very nice. Once I was done with that, I took it outside so it would dry in the sun, and I sanded the back piece. I also use my little laser thingy from Laser Packer to engrave my logo on the back. And for the first time I'm using Old English. I have never used this before, and this is something you can use especially on darker woods, and this will cover scratches and minor imperfections, and it will basically give old furniture nice color and luster, and this is a simple fix for something that isn't terribly damaged, I guess. This is mineral oil, and I'm happy to report that it worked very well, and I'll definitely use it again. And now that everything is clean and sanded, I can screw it together. And to attach the back, I use nails instead of staples. And for the clear coat, I'm using this 2K Pro XL clear coat, which is absolutely amazing, the best clear coat I've ever used in a rattle can. The spraying pattern is just perfect. It basically looks like from a spray gun. And you can even adjust the size of the fan. It's just great. The reason there is a pin on the bottom is because this is 2K product, so the hardener is separate until you pull the pin and mix it together with the lacquer, and then you've got limited time to use it, otherwise it will just turn solid in the can. I'm using this because I do have some, but also this is pressed wood with veneer, which means it's very easy to damage it, so I want to give it, you know, as good of a chance of survival as it can get. And this is an automotive grade lacquer, so it's very durable, and hopefully it will protect this chest of drawers for a long time. Have I mentioned that this has an amazing spraying pattern? It's as good as it gets, just look at it. So now I'm basically applying the wet coat, and it looks like there might be a little bit of orange peel. I'll see what it looks like when it settles, but I'm gonna do some polishing and possibly sanding tomorrow anyway, so I'm not worried. And now I just need to let it dry, install the hardware, do some final polishing, and Bob's your uncle. To make my life easier, I'm using the existing holes. And this way I don't need to measure anything, because they are exactly where they need to be, and I can just drill them out from the inside. I'm going to reuse the original pulls for the small drawers, because I think these are quite nice, and these are solid brass. And with the high grit sanding sponge, it was a super easy job. So for the bottom ones, I decided to go with something that I think what would be originally on this chest of drawers. And we are done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Enjoy the final results, and see you in the next one.